Hi, I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about the new moon in Virgo on September 6th or 7th, depending on where you are on the planet. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon on September 6th or 7th in Virgo. This new moon is going to be in Virgo at 14 degrees 37 minutes, and depending upon where you are on the planet, it will occur on either September 6th or September 7th. For me, I'm on the East Coast of America. I'm going to be having my new moon at 8:51 p.m. And if you're on the West Coast of the United States, the new moon will happen for you at 5:52 p.m. Let's talk about what a new moon really means. A new moon is always a time to start things anew, to start things fresh. This is the time you can explore potentials and beginnings. You can claim important dreams. You can notice emotional triggers in your life if you want to delve into them, and you can tap into emotional issues. It is a time for clearing things out. It's a great time for doing healings or banishments. But the most important thing about the new moon is to go within. Use this time and this energy to clear out anything that's not serving you right now. Now let's talk about what does it mean when the moon is in Virgo. Well, moon in Virgo people need to organize things and bring chaos into order, and that's what happens when the moon goes into Virgo. All of a sudden everybody's a little bit moon in Virgo and they all want to organize things, clarify things, pay attention to detail, be precise in the jobs that they do. They perform jobs with their hands, like cleaning and organizing. They do fine detailed work with an emphasis on anything that really needs to be checked and rechecked. You may have a fear of being imperfect, or moon in Virgo can stir up anxieties about being an imposter, about not really being good enough or not being perfect enough. And that's something that you should steer away from, because nobody's perfect, and that's just an anxiety producing thought to have in your head. The new moon trines Uranus, which means positive change, excitement, spiritual awareness, and embracing your spiritual and psychic abilities. At the same time, the new moon also aligns with two fixed stars, also pertaining to psychic abilities and spiritual evolvement. So this new moon is really going to bring out all the spiritual and psychic-ness in all of you. It's going to give you a chance to perhaps embrace talents you are a little unsure of. It's just going to give you a great peek into how you can really develop your own psychic and clairvoyant or clair whatever abilities with the help of Uranus. These are the planetary arrangements that we're going to see with this new moon. The moon trine Uranus, which I already mentioned. Venus trine Jupiter. Oh my gosh, that's a great one. Mars trine Pluto, also a great one. Moon opposition Neptune, which is malefic, and moon square North Node. So let's look at these planetary influences one by one. First up, we have the moon trine Uranus. Now, I'm making this big triangle symbol here so that you can see that this is the harmonious flow of energy between signs of the same element. The moon is in Virgo, which is Earth, and Uranus is in Taurus, which is also Earth. Now, we don't have any planet that's down here at 14 degrees of Capricorn, so we don't have a complete grand trine, but we have these two planets working in very harmonious energy. As I said before, when the moon is trining Uranus, it's rapid but positive change. It enhances your intuition. It's a time of creative breakthrough. Your ability to understand sciences and even occult sciences is heightened at this time. Now, this aspect will mainly affect earth signs. It will also be great for water signs. For the air and fire signs, there are some aspects in here for you too, so don't worry. Now, the next arrangement that I want to talk about is Venus trine Jupiter. Venus is in Libra, Jupiter is in Aquarius, both air signs. So again, this harmonious flow. Venus and Jupiter do trine each other about once a year. And this is an aspect that everybody looks forward to. This aspect usually means meeting someone with whom you'll have a great romance, or just feeling really good about yourself. It's great financially because both of these planets influence money, so it's a good time to buy things, to go shopping. You'll have great taste if you're picking out art or jewelry or clothing or anything that is slightly artistic. You'll have a better chance of getting a really great buy on it, as well as picking out something that's really fabulous to look at. So this is also a great time to relax and spend time with your friends. It is going to benefit the fire and air signs mostly, but it's really going to benefit everybody because all of these planetary arrangements work together as a whole. It is going to have more emphasis for the fire and air signs because of the signs that they're in. Libra and Aquarius are air, so it'll be great for those two, and also Gemini. But the air signs sextile the fire signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, so they will have a good time too. Sextiles half the trine. So where a trine is 120 degrees, the sextile is 60 degrees. So it's still that harmonious energy, just not quite as strong. The next arrangement that I want to talk about is Mars trining Pluto. This is an exceptional aspect, and it's just amazing and marvelous that it's happening at the same time as the Venus-Jupiter trine and the new moon trining Uranus. Mars and Pluto trining harnesses the energy, the very confident, dynamic energy of both of these planets, but in a harmonious way. Now, we have had aspects before that are stressful, either to Mars or Pluto. And in those times, that's when we get violent outbreaks in our country, or violent outbreaks of illness in our country. So having the Mars and Pluto energy working harmoniously is just fantastic. The push forward of Mars with the power of Pluto without ruffling any feathers. So this is an amazing time to do stuff. If you have a proposal to put forward, this is the day to do it. If you have anything to start off and you want that power and confidence of Mars and Pluto behind it, and the luxury and beauty of Venus and Jupiter behind it, new moon September 6th or 7th is the day to do it. You won't get much better than this. Plus, all of your intuition is going to be kicking in, so you're going to know where to push and where to pull back. Let's move on to the not so nice aspects of this day. The malefics. The first aspect that I'm going to talk about is the moon square North Node and Black Moon Lilith. This is a time to speak out about tyranny. This is going to instigate people who are advocates, especially for women, but it could also be leaders who are speaking out against any kind of tyranny. This would be a day where they really get heard. So we may see this in the news, or you may be involved in this in your own town or neighborhood. Black Moon Lilith very often energizes the feminine and outrage about holding women back, holding women down. And so with the Black Moon Lilith conjunct the new moon, this may be the beginning of a movement making progress on a particular subject. With the moon, I would tend to think that this would be more about individual cases for women. I think it's more personal. Now, how does it affect you personally? Well, if you're an earth sign or a mutable sign, this may affect you a lot because this is happening between two mutable signs. With the square, the energies don't mix well. They cause a conflict or an event. And they cause this conflict or event to create a learning opportunity. You know, learning is not always easy, and change and struggle is not fun, but it needs to happen. Our society is changing a great deal, and we need the people who are speaking out and being advocates for those who are weaker than them in order to affect change. Otherwise, the abuse and the tyranny will just continue. And that's really what Black Moon Lilith is about, and she really focuses on women. The next aspect that I want to talk about is the moon in opposition to Neptune. Now, this aspect can make you feel misunderstood, and also it can confuse you about your own emotions. Try not to make assumptions about anything on this new moon. And in some instances, you may actually be idealizing that person, and that could be clouding your judgment as well. Wait a couple of weeks actually and see if you don't understand the situation a little better. If somebody's selling you snake oil, certainly wait. Now we're going to talk about each sign, and we're going to start with the earth signs. All right, so the first earth sign up is Virgo, because the new moon is in Virgo. So this is your moon, your new moon. It's time to make big plans. This new moon influence could impact you for quite a few months, actually, Virgo. It's a strong new moon. You saw all the planetary arrangements that I just spoke about. With the moon and the sun in your first house, you'll surely be focusing on your image. But again, it's a new moon. It's not the time to be shouting from the rooftops. However, you may be quietly arranging different things having to do with the way the world sees you. That could include changing your hairstyle, changing your wardrobe, changing your brand if you're a person who's on social media. But definitely you're thinking differently about the way you show yourself to the world. And to that end, this is a great new moon to be doing that. You've got lots of powerful influences that are going to help you. For one thing, you're going to have Venus in the second house for money at this time, trining Jupiter in the sixth house for work. So whatever your brand is doing, if you're launching things with your brand, it's going to make money, and it's going to work, and it's going to blow up because Jupiter expands things. So this is really excellent for you, Virgo. Uranus in Taurus is in your ninth house, so that's going to influence the internet. It's going to mean that things are changeable for you and exciting, and the moon is trining that Uranus. Mars is in Virgo, trining Pluto. That's going to be big for you too. That means that you're having fun with this. You're very confident about your ideas, and the power of Pluto is really fueling the launch of your brand. There's tremendous energy and confidence with all of that. So it's a really good moon for you, Virgo, and it's going to have a profound impact for quite some time. Okay, let's move on to Capricorn rising. So Capricorn, this new moon is happening in your ninth house. So you're going to be really contemplating the mysteries of life and about your own life in particular, and really taking to heart the idea that maybe you should spend some time learning some new things at this point in your life. And this new moon may be the perfect time to start that. And Venus will be trining from your second house, which is Jupiter. Oh, that's great for your money. That's really going to expand things. And with that trine to Libra, Venus in Libra in your 10th house, this means that the money from your career is going to be great. And especially right around this new moon, something's going to happen that just helps your money just expand, really grow, get much bigger. Venus in the 10th house means that you're succeeding, you're driving towards success with your career, and people are seeing you as really making it happen in your career. So that's really exciting, Capricorn. Okay, for Taurus rising. Now, Taurus, you've had Uranus in your first house for quite some time, for a few years now, and it's still going to be there for a few more years. Uranus takes 7 years to get through the signs. But with the moon and sun in your 5th house trining that first house, it means you're in for some real fun. So that's a nice aspect to have going on right off the bat. Now, you will also have Venus in your 6th house for work, trining Jupiter in your 10th house for career. So work and career are going to be gangbusters for you right now. The month of September is probably going to bring in extra income, could bring in extra work, but with Venus in your 6th house, I'm guessing that there could be some help from females on the job, or there could be new females on the job, or you could just get more money on the job. And with Jupiter up in your 10th house in Aquarius, you are your Father Christmas. You're making it rain. You're making things happen at your job that are good for the business and good for you, and you are looking like a star. This is a very generous aspect with Jupiter in Aquarius up there in the 10th house. So if you have the power to give back to people at your job in some way, you're going to do that, and that's going to bring you even more rewards. Now, Mars in Virgo is happening also in your 5th house, and it's trining Pluto and Capricorn, which is approaching your midheaven, but not quite there. This is giving you lots of ideas and creativity towards things happening in your career. Also, if you are delving in anything having to do with foreign countries or the internet or space, or actually the mysteries of life and religion, you're going to be really happy during this new moon, because you're going to have confidence and energy and great ideas going on, and that could fuel things with your career or a hobby, because it's creativity, and usually we express our creativity through things like hobbies. Okay, let's move on to the air signs. Okay, now air signs, it is an Earth new moon, but you do have Venus and Jupiter in air signs. So this is going to be a great new moon for you too. Let's take a look at the first one, Gemini rising. Now, we did talk about Black Moon Lilith and the North Node being in Gemini, but I wouldn't worry about that too much with this new moon, Gemini. When you're ready to take the time to really look at the shadow side, you will. Black Moon Lilith and the Node are not going anywhere. They're going to be there until October. This new moon, Gemini, is happening in your 4th house. So there's going to be focus on your family, on the home that you live in, the actual building, but also the actual real estate that the home is on. So that's maybe not too exciting for you, but it is exciting because the moon is trine, and so is the sun actually, is trine Uranus. Now Uranus is coming up in your 12th house. So a lot of the spiritual, inspirational, subconscious, psychic kind of stuff that's happening for you most likely is happening either in meditation or a dream state or in the subconscious. So you may not really be playing with that yet, but you should. And right now with this new moon is the perfect time to really get into this, while the sun and the moon are trining Uranus and giving you that fantastic intuitive lift and that connection, and also giving you the courage to step out of your comfort zone and to try something new and to get into a new adventure. Also, Jupiter's in the 9th house, and you love the 9th house because you love all that learning stuff in Aquarius, and it's trining Venus in your 5th house for fun. So even though you're doing stuff around the house or expanding things or selling it or whatever, you've also got time for fun, and Venus in your 5th house definitely is going to have you doing, a late season vacation or a weekend away, and it's going to be really, really fun. In fact, it could be so much fun that you decide to extend it, because Jupiter is giving that trine energy to Venus, and that's probably allowing the money to happen, the time and the space to happen, and the generosity of spirit of everybody involved to allow it to happen. So that's a bonus thing with this new moon and these beautiful planetary arrangements that are really helping things just fly. Now, one thing about back to the home situation is that you do have Neptune in opposition to the moon. So there could be confusion. There could be some discrepancies or things that you don't understand about what's going on with whatever you're doing to your house. You could have some real confusion about that. And so I would say make the plans now, make the designs now. That's what you can use Neptune for, is the artistic aspect of it, the dreaming aspect of it. And then later, when we have more stable Virgo influences later in September, that would be a better time maybe to start the actual project, because I think you don't want to put pen to paper until you really understand what everybody is doing and you really understand the players and what they're asking for. Okay, Gemini, suffice it to say that this is going to be a great new moon for you. Do all of the usual new moon things. Get ready for a new beginning of some kind, because it is happening for you, Gemini. Okay, now let's get on to the next air sign, Libra. Okay, my fellow Libras, this new moon is really happening in your 12th house. So because of all the psychic influences that are at play here, you're going to find yourself almost bombarded with psychic impressions and clairvoyance and messages, and all sorts of psychic phenomena are going to be happening for you. So even though it's in Virgo, do not despair. Your 12th house is not going to be your undoing. It could actually be a really exciting new moon for you, and you could really, really enjoy it. Now, Mars is pretty deep in Virgo, and it's trining that Pluto in your 4th house. So I'm going to say that the Mars influence is actually going to energize your if you're Libra rising, which is the people that should be listening to this. The Mars there right on your 1st house is going to be energizing your ascendant. So you're going to feel strong, confident, and you're going to be able to promote your own ideas, your brand, yourself with power and confidence because of that Mars-Pluto trine. That's exceptional for you, Libra, and don't pass it up and don't discount it. It's meaningful. You're going to have Venus in your 1st house, another powerful place to have Venus, because Venus is beauty, it's your ruling planet, and it's giving you the green light for everything that you want to do. So whatever it is that you want to project to the world, this is a great time to do it. Use that intuition. Use that inspiration and intuition that you're getting from the moon and sun trine Uranus, and go for it. Change things up, because next month you'll have the new moon in Libra. So I haven't looked at the new moon in Libra. I don't know what the planetary configurations are going to be, but don't waste this one. This is going to be a really good one. It may not be great for the launch of the whole new you, but it will be great for just promoting you as is, promoting you the way you've been promoting yourself. Yeah, Jupiter in your 5th house is going to make it all fun. It's going to seem like it's not work. It's going to seem like it's just play and whatever you're doing, and yet it is going to turn out to really, really be fantastic for you. So enjoy, Libra. This is actually an exceptional new moon for you. All right, now let's go on to Aquarius. Oh, my lovely Aquarians. This new moon is happening in your 8th house, and even though it's an earth sign new moon, there is a lot of air sign influence that's going to make you very, very happy. What does it mean to have the new moon in your 8th house? It means you're going to be focusing on resources of your partner or metaphysical things, things that are hidden. Most likely the resources of your partner is really going to take precedence with this. You're going to have a lot of focus on that on the new moon, but remember what is involved with this new moon. We have the trine to Uranus, which is your 4th house, which is the house. So I'm going to say that if you've been trying to do something pertaining to maybe securing financing for renovating your house or buying a new house or selling your house and buying something else, it's going to be blessed on this day. The energy between Uranus and Taurus and this new moon in Virgo is an exact trine, and so it's beautiful, harmonious energy. Takes you out of your comfort zone, allows you to meet unusual people, blesses you with psychic abilities that you didn't know you had, opens your third eye basically so that you can grab all of that psychic and metaphysical energy that you know is available. And under this new moon, the door kind of opens, and now you're going to really get confirmation that you do indeed have it. And use all of those tools. There's nothing that says that you can't use intuition in money matters. It's actually a really, really powerful tool. Venus in the 9th house. So if you're doing anything on the internet or having to do with foreign countries or teaching or higher learning or religion or philosophy, Venus is blessing that house, and it's in trine to Jupiter in your 1st house. So Jupiter in the first house traditionally brings a little weight gain, Aquarius, so don't be ashamed of that. That happens to all of us. And the Venus trining it is actually a time where you might be able to just embrace your body, love it, and dress it the way it needs to be dressed. Buy yourself some new clothes. That's another thing that this aspect is saying. Spend a little money on yourself and feel good. Feel good about yourself. You're unique, Aquarius. You know that. You've always marched to a different drummer. So don't stop now caving into social norms. Stand up for yourself and be seen. Well, Pluto has been in your 12th house for forever, so you know, we don't need to comment on that. Neptune has been in your second house for forever, so by now I'm sure you've already changed your whole income stream into something having to do with fish and waters. You know, the Mars connected to this full moon is going to be at the end of your 8th house, almost into your 9th house, and so it's going to give you a lot of energy and confidence for dealing with those big money matters. And also because it's trine with Pluto, again, it's going to tap into your psychic intuition and your subconscious. This new moon is really focusing on psychic abilities. Don't fight it, Aquarius. Go for it. It's really an exciting new moon, and you should enjoy it. All right, now we're going to move on to the water signs. First water sign up is Cancer, as usual. Now, Cancer, this new moon is happening in your 3rd house. So this has to do with your neighbors, your friends, with brothers and sisters and siblings, your neighborhood, your daily routine, minor transactions that take place on a daily basis. You might pick up a cup of coffee and a bagel somewhere. That's a minor transaction. So in your case, this new moon is going to affect that. You're going to be examining, is this the way I want my daily routine to be? Can I improve it? Is it okay? You're also going to be looking at the people that you come in contact with on a daily basis and assessing that as well. Have I really noticed that Fred has worked here for 35 years and I don't know his last name? Things like that, Cancer. You're going to be really delving into a little bit more detail about the people that are around you, the people that you see every single day. Maybe you've lost touch with your siblings or your cousins and you decide to connect with them again. I would see that happening under this new moon transit. Now, let's talk about the other planets. So, we have the trine from Uranus, which is the most important thing, to all those planets in your 3rd house. Now, Uranus for you is in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes and groups. So again, I would say if you've lost touch with people, now is the time where you're going to be reconnecting with them in a big way. Also, Cancer, you're already a fairly intuitive person, but with this Uranus trine to the moon, it is going to go to outer space. You're going to feel like you can almost hear people think. Uranus influence also means that you're going to take yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. You're going to decide to do some kind of new adventure. So it could be kind of a really exciting new moon for you, Cancer, and one that really pays off in the end. Now let's look at that Venus-Jupiter trine. How is that going to hit you? Venus is going to be in your 4th house and Jupiter is going to be in your 8th house. So you and your partner may be spending some money on your home. You may be deciding to take out a loan or maybe dip into money that you had in the bank and spend it on the home. You may be adding a room, adding a wing, putting on a deck, or you may be just buying furniture or maybe just reupholstering things or painting, but you're going to be doing something to beautify the home. And this is not the time for just doing repairs. This is about beautifying the home and spending money on it. And believe me, the budget's going to go out the window with that trine from Jupiter. Maybe you come into extra money and that's why you're able to put extra money into the house, but something is gonna be more expensive than what you originally thought. And it may not bother you, Cancer, because you may be perfectly fine. Home is really important for you. So you may be thinking, yeah, I want my home to be the most comfortable and beautiful it can be because it's my haven, it's my retreat. So it may not bother you for you and your partner to spend a little bit more cash on this beautifying of the home. And I think that's it, Cancer. So now I'm going to go on to Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, we've got the new moon happening in your 11th house this month, and that may seem like sort of a ho-hum house to you, Scorpio, but think about all the planetary aspects. You've got a focus on friends, hopes, and wishes and groups that you are associated with. And also, sometimes the 11th house I really think of as the house that describes our retirement. So you may be either in retirement now, or you may be thinking about what will your retirement look like if you're a younger person. And now remember, we have the trine to Uranus in Taurus, and that's in your 7th house. So you are going to be talking to your partner about retirement. That part of your plan may be stepping out of your comfort zone. You may be meeting unusual or new people who guide you in this journey about creating this new plan. It may just be inspiration. You may have a dream and come up with this plan. Uranus is going to really spark your intuition, Scorpio, and you're already pretty psychic and intuitive. So this is going to just put things into overdrive. Enjoy this new moon. It really has a lot to offer. Now, before I finish with you, Scorpio, I want to talk about Venus and Jupiter. So Venus is in your 12th house and Jupiter's in your 4th house. So again, I think we're going to be involving the partner, because I think you're going to be wanting to spend a little bit of money on your house. And you may be expanding the house. You may be making it larger in anticipation of new people coming to live with you, or it may just be in anticipation of the future when you sell the house because you go into this beautiful retirement plan that you're doing. Venus in the 12th house gives a lovely aspect to understand your subconscious and your dreams, and also to understand people who are forgotten, people who are in long-term care, or people who are in hospice, hospitals, a cloistered existence of some kind. So this may be a time that you realize that you want to reach out to those individuals and give them some care, give them some attention. Venus there could be allowing you to open up a psychic ability that you had shut down previously in your life, because Venus is that gentle energy, but it's also a growth energy. So it is a perfect planet to throw into the 12th house, which is, you know, things that are forgotten, like that psychic ability I used to have when I was a kid. Boom, let's open it up. And with this new moon trining Uranus, you've got the perfect time to like open up that door and let your third eye just explode. So that's what I have to say to you, Scorpio. I hope you got a lot out of this reading. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know that it made sense. Please, I hope it made sense. And now we're going to move on to Pisces. All right, Pisces. Now this new moon is happening in your 7th house of relationships. So this is going to put a focus on whatever relationships you have, whatever partnerships that you have. Now, Uranus is in the 3rd house, which is the house of communication in Taurus, and it's trining that moon and the sun. So you're going to have inspired conversations. You're going to have some intuitive messages coming through for both of you that allow you to look at your relationship in a new way. Now, rather than stepping out and meeting a new person, I'm going to say that you're looking at your partner in a completely different way. That you're seeing your partner maybe the way they were 20 years ago, maybe the way you've always wanted to see them, or just seeing them in a completely new light, and it's exciting for you. So it's going to be really good for your relationship. Unusual, positive change, exciting, bordering on a spiritual kind of message or a telepathic kind of message between the two of you. So it's going to be really, really nice for you, Pisces. This is a great new moon for you, and I know you get this every year, but this one has the added bonus of the trines that are coming along with it. So you've got Venus in the 8th house for shared resources. So that means that there is going to be some money that is either coming in or going out between the two of you. Now, Jupiter is going to be in the 12th house, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to manifest for you. Jupiter can be very giving and generous, so perhaps there is somebody in your lives that needs a little more attention, and maybe you're going to be spending some time with them and also spending some money on them as a result of this trine between Venus and Jupiter. In addition, we have the trine between Mars and Pluto. So Mars is going to be at the end of your 7th house, and Pluto's in your 11th house for friends, hopes, and wishes, but it's at the end of the house. So I'm going to say that there's an idea brewing between the two of you to join some sort of a group, to join in some kind of a plan, maybe for your joint retirement, where the two of you have a very powerful plan, a plan that is maybe to travel the world and help people, or set up some sort of very generous philanthropic organization to help people. But you're going to be looking at things on a very big scale when it comes to the groups and hopes and wishes that the two of you want to engage in. So it may be a very profound new moon for you, Pisces. It may bring about something that is quite exciting and quite life-changing. And it will affect your life definitely for the next 6 months, but maybe beyond in your case. Now on to the fire signs. The first fire sign we're going to talk about is Aries, and the new moon Aries for you is falling into your 6th house. So changes at work, maybe people coming and going, maybe you take in a new job. That could be a new moon activity. Things look like in your job it's quite stable and good. Now remember that we have the trine to Uranus, which is happening. Uranus would be in your 2nd house, where it's been for a few years, and that would give you a lot of inspiration. And also in your workplace, it could also give you new people. It could give you a different outlook on those people. And it could also mean that you meet somebody extraordinary in your job. So a lot of exciting things, Aries, could be happening there, and that you might try some new things on the job. Let's look at Venus. Venus is in Libra. That would be in your 7th house. So it's a lovely time to meet somebody, to start a meaningful relationship. And with the trine from Uranus going to the moon, I'd say it's a good bet that a lot of people are going to be meeting new partners under this new moon. This new moon in Virgo hits all these other planets in such a harmonious way, it will bring out love and romance in a lot of people. You've also got Mars at the end of that 6th house trining Pluto in Capricorn, which is in your career house, the 10th house. And so your actions about your career are going to be confident and powerful. You're going to be possibly making changes to your career, possibly choosing a different career or a more ambitious career. Whatever you're choosing having to do with your career right now, Aries, it will work out because you've got the Mars-Pluto power behind you, and that's fabulous. And the black moon Lilith squaring that shows up that is not you. Maybe it's people around you. You're hearing them advocate for other people, stand up for other people, especially women and girls. Or you're seeing that people are mistreated in some way or just disregarded in general. And then other people are stepping in and speaking up for them. If that's you stepping up and speaking up, that's Aries, that would be a great thing for you to do. All right, now let's go on to Leo. Leo, this new moon is happening in your 2nd house for resources. So something about your income stream is going to be in focus. I would say, Leo, that possibly you're looking at adding a new income stream to your current income stream. And what do I mean by this? Not necessarily a second job or changing jobs. You could be in a particular job and just have some other thing on the side that brings in more income. That's what I see coming about for you. And with the trine from the moon to Uranus in Taurus, I think it's a very easy jump from one job to job and an income stream. And I think that will make you very comfortable. The Uranus trine is going to bring about so much inspiration and happiness and positive change to what's going on with your money-making ability. You're going to be very, very pleased with that outcome, Taurus. It also gives you a chance to feel like it's okay to step out of your comfort zone. You may be meeting people now that you would partner with, even though they do seem really, really different and unorthodox. That's the Uranus factor. Now, in addition, you have Venus in Libra in the 3rd house, And Venus in the third house is just going to make your communications and day-to-day transactions so much more pleasant. So you're going to find that you find hidden money in your pocket to pay for your coffee. You all of a sudden get a check in the mail that you weren't expecting. There's money to be found. There's literal money on the street that you can find that will just make your day fun and happy. And it's trining Jupiter, which is going to be in your 7th house, which means that your partner is also going to be gaining financially at this time. And between these two planets, you should see some kind of a bump up in money. So even that is good for your 2nd house income stream, because it sounds like there's just money falling all around you, Leo. Now, we also have Mars trining Pluto. Mars is at the end of your 2nd house, and it's trining Pluto at the end of your 6th house. So this is, 6th house is your house of work, and 2nd house is still your house of income or resources. And so this will give you a lot of confidence about the new income stream. It'll give you a lot of confidence about what you're trying to do. And it will also reinforce that you're not harming the actual job that you work at now. You're enhancing that in some way. Your decisions and your actions will be very, very powerful. So you won't have to work as hard at this to get money coming in as you do at your regular job. So eventually maybe this income stream will take over and you won't need to work that first job anymore. But you have to wait and see how that goes, Leo. And the square from Black Moon Lilith is not going to be too troublesome either. Listen to the intro of this video in order to get the lowdown on what's happening with Black Moon Lilith. And now on to Sagittarius. Sag, this new moon is happening in your 10th house, so it's going to affect your career. You are examining and re-examining what is right for your career. Hopefully you're in a career that you like or love, and all of the planetary arrangements right now are supporting that. You've got Uranus trining the moon and sun from Taurus, which is your 6th house, which is the house for work. So something's going to be happening through work, and it could be a new person. It could be somebody who's just very unusual at work. It could be a completely new situation that is going to inspire you and promote change, positive change. And you, in return, will find that you're able to step out of your comfort zone and do things that you wouldn't do before. So this is a really, really positive aspect, and it looks like it's going to have a fantastic effect upon your career and work life. You've got Venus in Libra, which is falling in your 11th house, trining Jupiter in your 3rd house. So Jupiter in your 3rd house, let's talk about that one first. That has to do with expanding what's going on in your day-to-day world. When you make your way to work, when you buy your coffee and your bagel in the morning, when you greet people, when you see your neighbors or your siblings, Jupiter is just going to make you feel very generous and expanded towards all of this. So if you've been thinking about taking a course, that also falls in the 3rd house. If you're thinking about learning something new or teaching something new, remember Jupiter in Aquarius is extremely generous. So you may be in the market to start teaching young kids outside of a school setting, or it may be inside of a school setting. For all I know, Sag, you may be a professor or a teacher of some kind, and so this may really be in your bailiwick, but there's going to be something new that expands in your little world, in your cosmos, in your everyday world. Something's going to open up and expand. You may be either learning or teaching or giving to people. And Venus in the 11th house just means that the fruits of your labor from your job are going to be well spent on your friends, on groups, on your desires and wishes. You may be indulging yourself just a little bit during this new moon and spending some money on things that you don't usually do, but it makes you feel good. And again, Venus is trining that Jupiter. So again, that generosity of spirit is just really bowling everybody over during this time. I hope it doesn't break the bank. I don't think it will, but it's a great new moon for you. You're going to have fun with it, and I know some fantastic things are going to come in regards to your career. All right, that's all of the signs and the predictions for the signs. Be sure and go back and listen to the introduction where I talk about all of the other planetary aspects. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I hope that you will subscribe and share and like and thumbs up and all that stuff. It really, really helps the channel. I've done a video about the astrology in between the new moon and the full moon, so be sure to catch that. I'll be doing more pick-a-cards and tarot card readings soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful to all of my subscribers. You really, really mean a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.